Hey, Sony, yo, we need to talk. It's about that time, man. You had a great run in the past. You gave us Toby. You did what you had to do with Garfield. But now it's time. It's time for you to allow Spider-Man to come back home to the MCU. Let's talk. Now, I probably wouldn't be here if Sony would have put out a good project. If they'd put out a string of quality projects, but no, they haven't. They've been flat. Whether it was Venom, whether it was the infamous Madam Web, which will probably go down as an all-time classic for being one of the worst ever, or whether it's a continuation of what seems to be this pettiness that they just can't quite leave alone. To me, it sounds like Sony is an angry, bitter ex-wife that just looks like she's trying to drag every single life of energy out of her ex-spouse.
Yes, in the divorce settlement, she got all our friends.
And well, why do I say that? I say that to say this. There's an agreement between Sony and Marvel regarding characters that can be used. Now the characters themselves can be used within both of the same universes. So if a character is introduced in Sony, can't be used in Marvel, and likewise. And well, it seems like it's now an arms race because Craven, the next project that Sony's coming out with, just had a trailer that came out that featured Rhino, Calypso, and Chameleon.
I heard the noise of thunder.
Are you like your father? A gangster? A killer?
Embrace who you really are, son. And you will become a legend when the man comes around.
And what do all four of those guys have in common? Well, they're all enemies of Spider-Man, so that makes them ineligible to come to the MCU. So why does that ultimately suck? Well, it sucks because I feel like that's just Sony being petty. And there were reports out that Craven was going to be introduced in the new Spider-Man, along with Blade that I saw once upon a time. And well, now those plans get scrapped. And at the recent D23 event, Disney advised that, there were some adjustments made. Some movies were changed around. And one of the movies not introduced was the possibility of Spider-Man 4. Now, they did have 4 projects that were blanked out, so we don't know exactly what those projects were, but we're assuming at this time that one of those was the Spider-Man project. And if you look at it, it kind of makes sense because the last time Spider-Man was out was almost 5 years ago. So to me, it ultimately makes sense that could be a possibility, but you have to ask yourself, which direction are they really trying to go? And well, they're making it secret probably for a reason, because if Sony gets a hold of it, Sony's just going to use whatever character they were going to introduce that now the movie's blocked off once again. Now you got to go back to the drawing board, which sucks because who loses? Us fans, we lose. And if Sony had been successful, this would be different. But Madam Web, Venom, and I just found this out, Spider-Noir with Nicolas Cage. Like, I don't think success is what you're aiming for. I think you're just doing it to be doing it. Like, you're just doing petty to be petty. But I get it. Sometimes people just do things, and that's what y'all are possibly doing. But what do y'all think? Do you think Sony is actually making the necessary moves to put out a nice product? Or do you think that maybe Sony should just chill out? Because where I do show that Sony is on point is Into the Spider-Verse. Almost set to be one of the best trilogies ever. Just waiting on the third one just to kind of round it out. But the first two, Chef's Kiss, like, those movies were phenomenal. And maybe the animation lane is the one that they should be searching for. But I don't know. That's just me. Comment below your thoughts. Until next time, my name's Raymundo. This is Raymundo Speaks, your #1 spot for all your shenanigan and entertainment needs. Until then, lock in, subscribe, Lego. I mean, come on. Madam Web, terrible. Venom, terrible. Who is trying to see Nicolas Cage old? Oh, man, that's just, whew. They not interested in making money. They can't be.